Alright everyone, this is Reap What You Sow Gardening here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how does satellite TV work. I'm not going to be talking about satellite internet. I don't know how that works, but I'm pretty sure it's almost the same thing as TV. So yeah, let's get started. It's fairly easy thing to learn about. So first you want to start off with your dish, which you probably have like either one like this if you have Dish Network, one like that if you have DirecTV, or something like this over here if you have Bell TV in Canada, which of course I'm not in Canada obviously, so this is going to be a 500, but it's literally the same exact thing. It's just Bell is just Dish Network in Canada. So here's the thing. So this is a little rundown parts of the dish. So this is called the LNBF, which is a low noise block something feed. So these are called the eyes, these little circles that receive two satellites. So either 110 or 119, or actually 119 or 110. In this case 72 and 61.5. So what are those numbers? So that just means whatever orbital slot they're in above the Earth's rotation, whatever direction they're at. So this one's at 72.7 degrees and then 61.5 degrees. In this dish, this is the reflector right here. This is the arm, the coax cable that carries the power and the signal, and like all satellites it requires power. This right here, this piece is called your skew or your tilt, which basically it moves the reflector this way and that way like a clock. And this right here is your elevation, so basically up and down. And these collar bolts are for your azimuth. So azimuth is left and right direction, so east and west. This one is pointing somewhat west or east. It's kind of pointing right here. Yeah, this is your mast if you have it on the side of a house or a roof, or in this case a pole, telephone pole. This is your mast. You can see the coax again. So how it works is you have the satellite in space. They beam a signal down in a corkscrew shape, so it's like that. So they beam signal down. It hits this side, let's say 72 west, and it hits this side and it goes into that eye, and then 61 hits this side and goes into that. So that's how that works. DirecTV, it's a little different. This is the most high-powered satellite TV system in America, which is DirecTV. So same principle. You got the reflector, the LNB. This one picks up two dead satellites, which is 110 and 119 on DirecTVs. Dish Network uses a different 110 and 119, which is still active. So this one's 119, 110, shouldn't have done that. Stood in front of the dish. The TV's playing right now. So 103, 101, and 99, I think. So those are your HD satellites. So 101, which would be right dead shot in the middle right there. 103, and then 99, and then 110 and 119. 129 and 77 are dead. 77 is Dish Network Mexico. That one's still around, but 129 CL2, I think that's dead. So that was your DirecTV Slimline dish. And that one you can only have one wire coming out and put a splitter and then feed that to multiple receivers. How does a splitter work? Okay, so this in here is a splitter. So you have the feed from the dish coming in, right? Right here is the splitter. This is going to your receiver. These ports right here are going to receivers, which are TVs. So you have in and an out to up to 4. Here's a direct hookup for one standalone receiver, which is a barrel. So you have one in, one out. Here's a switch for Dish Network. So you have 3 satellites in. So let's say like 110, 119 is 61.5. And you can go out receiver 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can actually connect this to another switch if you're doing like an apartment setup or something. Here's another switch. This one's way better because this is Dish Pro Plus, so it supports up to 2 tuners on a DVR system. What is a tuner? Some type of thing that receives a signal in a receiver. I don't really understand it, but that's what that is. So you have satellite input 1, which this one actually is broken. I think I broke it, unfortunately, but we can still use these. I don't add like 61 or something to the switch. I don't have locals here for that. So just 110, 119 would be perfectly fine. Doesn't matter what port. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, DPP 44, which means 4 in, 4 out, and then 4 out to another switch. This right here is called a terminator. And a terminator, what it does, it has a little, that's what this little bulge at the top is. It's a resistor inside. So you won't lose signal or frequency, have frequencies escaping it. Is this stuff safe to mess around with? Yeah, it's perfectly safe. Just don't stand in front of the dish for that long. You're not gonna die, you're just gonna screw up the signal. So, how does this old 500 work here for 2002? How does this thing work? Does it still work? Yes, it does. It works perfectly. So, this you can't get 72 or 61 because this LNB is different. But what you can do is you can get 110, 119, or if you're in Canada, 91 or 82 Bell. Which we can't get those satellites here in America. Of course we can't. Go figure. But you can bring a Bell receiver down here and play around with it. I don't know what you would do besides watch like recordings on it and that's it. I mean, which would be cool. I mean, but you know, you're not going to be recording TV because you can't get to the satellites here. This is the same LNB. This one's a DP. So this one, you need 2 cables for 2 tuners instead of 1 cable for 2 tuners. So this is extra work, but it's good. I just use 1 wire. I don't use 2 tuners. I really don't care about that because I don't use it, but same exact thing as that little black dish over there. Same exact thing. I don't really need to go over it twice, but it's just a different shape. Now, 1004 has something called a dither. So it's just a big version of that over there, the black one. So dither is fine-tuned, so which is this mechanism here, this little skew thing. So the skewy thing. So you have bolt when you're aiming it and you have locked onto satellites and you have a good signal and you're not satisfied with it, you turn this with a wrench and you try to turn left and right, make sure you have a good raise the signal. If you can't raise it and it goes lower, then you just leave it alone. So that's what I did. I fine-tuned it so it has about 86%. And that's how that is. And here's a bucket mount. This is how, if you're on an apartment or something, you want free satellite TV, which you need to lock onto like 97 West or 105 West if you want free satellite C-band or KU band. Free satellite TV, this is how to do it. So you take a pole, a normal fence pole, a bucket of concrete, or a bucket, put concrete in it, and that's it. That's all you gotta do, and put a dish on top. Same concrete bucket for that. But this one, like I said, is a mast. It's not a bucket of concrete, duh. But you can do what I did if you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, then subscribe. Helps the channel heaps. And see you next time.